What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, your mind's Toxic Camel 331. Back at it with another video, and today we're doing yet another toxic tier list ranking. Oh yeah. And today we're going to be doing a tier list ranking of all the Pixar movies, including Inside Out 2, and ranking them on a tier list. And I did this before as well when Elemental came out, so be sure to check that one out. But before we get into actual beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because come on, it's absolutely free. Number 2, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, just 266 away now, and also maybe help with the YouTube algorithm recommended video to more people. Maybe they could join. That sucks. And you feel free to comment your tier list down below. But with that being said, guys, let's get right into it. And I'm still a little bit sick, so hang on a second. I'm blowing my nose. I'm trying to get a firm grasp on it. Okay. Anyways. Before we start ranking things, here are the tiers. We have best of the best, which means they're amazing. They're 5 stars, probably among my favorite movies of all time, probably. Great means it was like 4 stars or above. It was still a really great movie. It's just I love the movies even more in best of the best, and I have like a minor flaw holding the movie back from getting up there. Toxic goodness means it was good. It was a good Pixar movie. Not amazing, though. Decent means it was fine. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of good, but it had some flaws holding it back from being all good. You know what I'm saying? Okay means it was like a mixed bag. You don't know what to think of it. Meh means it was very like middle of the road Pixar, and it was very forgettable. And then Toxic Trash means dumpster fire, the worst Pixar movies. Alright, first up we have Toy Story. I mean, come on, we all know where that's going right here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You can't deny it, bro. Toy Story is best of the best. It kicked off this whole entire animated company. And even though, yes, the animation is kind of a little creepy nowadays compared to the other animation we've got in Pixar, the animation's still pretty great. Woody and Buzz are both really great characters. Like the story that they're going with. I think I'm glad Disney bought Pixar, because we would never have any of the Toy Story sequels. I mean, maybe we would have. I don't know. But it's just an awesome movie. Do I need to say anything else? Toy Story, amazing. Chef's kiss. Mwah. All right, next up we have A Bug's Life. And A Bug's Life, I think, is watchable. But like, I never immediately go towards it compared to the other Pixar movies. So, A Bug's Life, I'll put in a decent category. I used to burn that Blu-ray out when I was younger a whole lot. There's a kind of the same thing with Toy Story. The animation in here is still kind of creepy, especially with Hopper in that one scene. Well, and spoiler alert, because, well, I'm pretty sure all of us have seen Bug's Life, right? But that scene with Hopper where he gets dropped into the, like, bird, the little bird's nest or whatever, into their mouths and stuff, that is forever embroiled in my brain. That was such a freaky scene with the... Well, it doesn't show you the aftermath. If they showed you the aftermath, it might as well be PG-13. Or maybe rated R, I don't know. But it's a very creepy scene. Why I don't put it a lot higher is because it spoofs a lot of different... Not spoofs. It has a lot of... Its story is very similar to other movies we've seen before. Like, Avatar is very similar to this, even though Avatar came out later. Yes, I know, I'm an idiot, thanks. And supposedly it's similar to Last Samurai, I think. I forgot what specific movies what they were again, but I know it's kind of the same riff on that. So yeah, it was decent. It's a decent animated movie. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 is probably my least favorite out of the four. Either that or Toy Story 4. I don't know. Spoiler alert for later. I'll put it great. It's just because the Toy Story 1 set a high bar, such a high bar. Such a high bar. I cannot speak. It kind of like made the other Toy Stories have trouble thinking of how to defeat it, especially this one more specifically, because Toy Story 2 is just, it's basically the same movie again, but they switch some things about it. Kind of like what I said with Inside Out 2, it's very similar to that, I would say. But they changed a little things. Like here you got Woody getting lost from the group and getting picked up by Al from Al's Toy Barn, and all of Woody's toy friends are trying to get him back. So, but the villains in here I think are probably, no, actually I was about to say they're the best, but we all know who the best Toy Story villain is, which we'll get to talking about him when we get to that movie. But probably the second best Toy Story villains, in my humble opinion. You got Al from Al's Toy Barn, the Chicken Man, probably. I think he's very memorable, even though some people don't think he's memorable. And then also there's Stinky Pete too. So, and yeah, you get new additions to the Toy Story franchise with Jessie and Bullseye. So that's really cool. So that goes into the great tier. Sorry. Still a little bit sick. Monsters, Inc. We all know where that's going to. Monsters, Inc. is best of the best. I love this animated movie. Animation is perfect. Mike Wazowski and Sully, such an iconic duo, voiced greatly by John Goodman and Mike Crystal. Is that what that guy's name is? I forgot what his name was. Then you also have supporting characters or the villains, more specifically Randall, voiced by Steve Buscemi, who does a fantastic job. The story was a very interesting idea, following if what would the world be like for the monsters that hide under your bed in the night, and they gave a very kid-friendly oriented version of that, and they did a good job with that. Boo, the relationship with him and her, he's not him, with her and Sully is really cute, and that last scene almost makes me cry every single time where Sully has to say goodbye to Boo. That's so sad. Roz is another standout side character. She's really funny, and yeah, I would say best of the best. I think these two neck and neck. I think I like Monsters, Inc. a little bit more than the first Toy Story, because I watched the first Toy Story a lot of times when I was younger. So, Finding Nemo. Okay, so sort of what I said with Toy Story, but this one got more annoying. But it's great. Do I put it best of the best? I don't know. It's just, I watched it so many times when I was younger. I kind of got burnt out on it, but it's still an amazing Pixar movie. Don't get me wrong, because best of the best I'm saving for personal preference, like for my favorite movies of all time. They're definitely up there. Nemo, the animation in here, of course, amazing. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Also, the story where Marlin's trying to find Nemo is very compelling. You have, probably the most memorable side character out of all of Pixar. I think we can all agree with that, with, Dory, voiced by Ellen. So she's a great character as well. There's a lot of standout sequences in here. The one that comes to mind immediately is the underwater sequence with the anglerfish. I'm pretty sure that's what you call the fish, but like when it's really dark and there's that fish with the big teeth and then the light and stuff. Oh, that scene's very freaky too. And especially I remember when I was younger when I went to the Finding Nemo ride for um at Disney World, that scene always freaked me out. I had to close my eyes every single time, which now I don't really understand why I had to do that. Because I watched the movie scene, so there's that. Also other side characters too. You got Crush in here, the memorable turtle himself. You got Ray as well. Well, yeah, I think he's called Ray, right? The Stingray, whatever his name is. Mr. Waters, that's what his name is. Bruce, the shark, and his two sidekicks. And yeah, no, okay, I'm gonna make some people mad if I put it in great. So I'll put it best of the best. It's bottom best of the best, but it's just I've been burnt out on it because I used to watch it all the time when I was younger. The Incredibles. Ooh, yes, we all know where that's going. The Incredibles is top of best of the best right now. I love The Incredibles. And we'll talk about it more in depth later. I even love the sequel too. And Incredibles is definitely one of the best one of the best Pixar movies for me. And it's one of the best superhero movies that have came out. Honestly, great animation. It deals with a lot of subjects that I don't think would be talked about or mentioned in today's Pixar movies. It deals with that, with some specific stuff with superhero isms back in the day for this movie that is pretty, where you watch it and you go, wow, dang, this movie was ahead of its time right here. Syndrome, great movie villain. And yeah, even though, yes, we've seen many movies after this that have the same exact motive, this is probably one of the best versions of it, where he was hurt by the hero and he wants vengeance even though he looked up to him, you know? Frozone, another amazing side character voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Where's my super suit? That is one of the most iconic lines in all of Pixar. That line so funny. And yeah, do I need to say anything else? Best of the best for Incredibles. Cars 1. I would say I like it more than Bug's Life. Would I say decent or good? It's probably the back of good. I think it's very rewatchable. Is it amazing? No. You could definitely tell that this one's the most kiddie out of all of them. I used to watch this quite a bit when I was a little bit younger. Mater, another great side character, even though they made him annoying in Cars 2, which we'll get to. Owen Wilson does great voicing Lightning McQueen. There's Life is a Highway in this movie, the song that is yeah, I'm a loss for words here. It's just, anyways. And I like this story, how kind of Lightning McQueen's kind of very selfish, and basically he finds himself in this new town with Mater and Sally and all that, so it's good. Back of good, though. And I might change my mind later and put it in the top of decent. I don't know. Then we have Ratatouille. Ooh, I was trying to... I forgot what the words are, but I know how the song goes. But Ratatouille, we all know where that's going to. That is my favorite Pixar movie. I love Ratatouille. Even as a kid too, I loved Ratatouille. And I'm a big food guy, so seeing how the food's made and cooked and stuff, I love that. I always wanted to try the food in this movie when I was younger. Well, who hasn't done that with any movie, really? Where for any animated movie, and you see food and you go, "Oh, that looks so good. I want to try that." The soundtrack, amazing. That main theme, I forgot what it's called, but that song, probably one of the best theme songs in Pixar. Love it. Remy, such a great character. And also, the Skinner is a pretty funny villain, even though he's not an amazing villain. He's funny. So, Ratatouille, best of the best. I love Ratatouille. And I still haven't rode the Ratatouille ride. I know. It's been a while since I've been at Disney. Anyways, Wally, or Wally, I have to say it right. Wally is great. I would say, there we go, great. I wouldn't say it's best of the best. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll put it best of the best. I'll put it best of the best because I think I like it more than Finding Nemo. And I think all of them are 5 stars. There's the thing I remember most from these movies is there was this game called Disney Infinity that had a bunch of different levels. Well, not Disney Infinity, sorry, Disney Universes. I believe that's what it was called. And they had a Monsters Inc. level. They had a Wall-E level. Didn't they have a Wall-E level? I don't know. I'm also I think the best part of the movie for me is probably when they go to space, I think, with the Wiltshires and just seeing how that world is. Sorry, I got a little distracted because my mom came in anyways. And also the relationship between Eva and Wally is very cute. So, best of best. Next up, we have Up, and it makes me cry every single time. Up goes into great. I don't think the movie holds up after the first scene. Because the first scene with Carl and Ellie, where it goes through their life, oh my goodness. This is probably a hot take. I don't know if this is true or not, but in my personal opinion, I think that's the best opening movie scene of all time. That scene just explains life so well. The ups, the downs, and just beautiful storytelling by Pixar. But after that, I don't think it keeps the same speed going. Like, I don't think it passes that first scene. But there is a great story to be told here where Carl's trying to come back to humanity and basically discover himself again and discover he doesn't want to be alone anymore with Russell, Doug, and Kevin. It explored it quite well. Doug, another great side character, the talking dog himself. The villain in here, I forgot what his name was, but Charles Munson, that's what his name is, I think. Great villain too. He has a pretty memorable. Most of the earlier Pixar movies have a lot of great memorable villain deaths, and he has one where it's like, wow, yeah, he's dead. I enjoyed when they found the blimp. So, Up goes into great. It's close to best of the best. It's just I don't think it keeps the same speed going from the first, 10 minutes. I forgot how long the scene was, but, Anyways, Toy Story 3, we all know where that's going to. Probably the best Toy Story movie. Either that or Toy Story 1. It's a hot debate between those two, but this movie, also one of the most saddest Pixar movies. This was a movie where you actually thought, Woody, Buzz, and all of them were gonna die, but then they got saved last minute. And we thank Pixar so much for that. This ends the trilogy beautifully. And definitely, if it would have ended here, not a whole lot of us would be mad. Lotso, the best Disney, the best Toy Story villain. He might be one of the best Disney villains, too. I don't know. But, of course, great villain. Great motive as well, where he basically was thrown away and ignored when he was a toy when for a kid earlier in life, so he said, I'm around the daycare. Ken's another memorable side character in here, and also all of Bonnie's toys that Woody discovers, which are, who are they again? Trixie, there you go, Trixie. I forgot all the rest of them. I don't know why I forgot all the rest of them, but yeah, best of the best. Come on. I got blow my nose again. Hang on, hold on a second. I need to blow my nose again. My nose. Sorry, my nose gets stuffy sometimes when I'm in the middle of talking, so there's that. Cars 2. We all know where that's going. Toxic Trash. Here's something that might shock some people. This isn't actually my pick for the worst Pixar movie. You'll see it later. And I know it's going to cause a lot of controversy because I know some people love that film, but I hate it. Cars 2, very bad movie. I would rather rewatch this one than the other movie I'm going to talk about later. But I think it's a watchable bad movie. I like the stuff with Lightning McQueen when he's racing and stuff in all the different sort of cities. I like that part. But then they make Mater the main character, which I don't think he should be the main character, and make it a spy movie, which is just very odd. So, yeah, it's Toxic Trash. Sorry, Mater, but your movie wasn't great with you as a solo movie star. Yeah. Brave, meh. It felt as if it was made by a different company. It feels like a DreamWorks movie in the world of How to Train Your Dragon, but it's not. There are some cool Easter eggs in here, and also I love that theory too with the witch in the cavern, in the cabin, the witch in the cabin, where there's a carving of Boo and Sully, and there's theories going around that she's actually Boo from the past, which, if that theory comes to fruition, man, that's pretty crazy. The relationship between Merida and her mother a little bit later on when they actually connect, I think, is good. But at the start, you find it very hard to connect with them. But it's just a very weird movie. But I like the evil bear as a villain. Oh. Okay. Hopefully I'm done blowing my nose. Anyways, Monsters University. A lot of people like to hate on this one. I don't know why, but Monsters University I think is actually a pretty good prequel. I'm someone that isn't actually a real big fan of prequels most of the time. Most of the times because they answer questions that we weren't asking, and they were giving us bad answers for the questions we were wondering. And we didn't have much questions going into this one, and it, I think, is a good prequel. Mike and Sully's relationship, seeing how that all first started, was very interesting. I enjoyed the college setting, and there were a bunch of different team scarers. I really enjoyed that as well, with Uzma Kappa, Team Roar, Omega Roar, Hiss, or is it Kiss? I forgot what it was called. I think it was Hiss, and Pink and all that. Yeah, I found all those sequences throughout the movie with those challenges and stuff very entertaining. Where it loses me a bit is they make Sully really selfish, so, I don't know. Well, I don't know. There's just something holding this back, but probably when they go into the human world at the start, I didn't like that. But they redeemed itself a little bit later on, where Sully and Mike are trying to get back to the monster world, and they have to generate some screen power by Sully scaring some police officers and making them run out. So that was pretty That was a pretty dark moment, so there's that. Yeah. I would say Toxic Goodness. And they had a whole entire horror sequence later on. That was pretty good. So, it's good. Good dinosaur. Kind of the same thing what I said with Brave. Ugh. Meh. It seems as if it was made by DreamWorks and not by Pixar, and it was made by the wrong studio. And probably out of all the Pixar movies here, this is probably my least rewatched Pixar movie, which I don't think it has a lot of rewatch value. The relationship between, I forgot what even the main character was, his name was. The main dinosaur and the caveman kid. Well, caveman kid, I know is Spot. That's what his name is. You couldn't connect with that as much as other relationships later on throughout Pixar and before. So there's that. And also it's the most forgettable Pixar movie. I don't remember anything else from that really. So yeah, there's that. And also, I forgot to mention with Ratatouille. Can we get a sequel or a Disney Plus series sequel, please? Anyways, Inside Out. Inside Out #1 is amazing. It is a great movie. Why I put it in great is because I think the character development for Riley in here is still great, but I think Inside Out 2 does a better job of it, so that's why I don't have it in Best of the Best. And also, Joy is kind of annoying, so that's what holds it back from getting into Best of the Best. And also, a mixed aspect, I don't know how to feel about sadness, but it does a great job of exploring all of emotions throughout our body and interpreting them, so it goes in best and great. Then next up we have Finding Dory. It's fine. It's decent. It's a decent sequel to Finding Nemo. I like the aquarium setting, but it's kind of doing the same thing again as the first Finding Nemo, but this time with Dory, where she's actually trying to find her parents. So that was pretty interesting, I guess. And has some new characters, which are pretty, okay. With the beluga whale and Destiny. Yeah. As I said before, I love the aquarium setting. So, it's decent. It's decent. Next up, we have Cars 3. If you would have asked me a long time ago, I'd have put it in Toxic Trash. I've only seen this movie, I think, in theaters, and that's it. Maybe I watched it one more time on Blu-ray, but I still have it very fond in my memory. I'll put it back a meh. I would probably rather watch. No, I'll put it above Good Dinosaur because I still haven't rewatched Good Dinosaur a whole lot. Cars 3, it does a good job of ending Lightning McQueen's arc, but just as a whole, it wasn't that memorable. You have that new speed car in there that was interesting, and they had that whole entire plot that we saw in the trailers where Lightning McQueen got ran off the road. That was pretty shocking. And the passing of the torch moment to Cruz was just like, what? We don't even know who this girl is, and you didn't fully resonate with her, so, or at least I didn't fully resonate with her, so, yeah, meh, very meh. So there's that. And also, I recall Mater wasn't in this movie much, so, but I do like the stuff with Doc Hudson where they're remembering him and stuff. Coco, remember me. For those who I say goodbye, remember me. Okay, here. Okay. It's not in the best of the best for me because best of the best are among my favorite movies of all time. But Coco is great, don't get me wrong. The twist reveal later on about Ernesto de la Cruz is a great villain twist. The whole entire soundtrack, amazing. How it's exploring the Day of the Dead is very good. And very interesting as well. Animation, beautiful, of course. Especially with the, what are they called? The, Alabrihans. The animation for that, amazing as well. The whole entire story with Miguel trying to get back to the real world, very good as well. And also the, what else am I forgetting? I don't know why I'm... Oh, the last sequence of the movie with the Remember Me song where he's singing it to Coco, was very sad and definitely will make you cry. So, yeah. Coco, great. Do I put it... I don't know. We'll get back to that later. Incredibles 2. Same sort of thing with Monsters University. A whole lot of people like to crap on this one for some reason. Incredibles 2, I think, is still great. Honestly, I actually really enjoy Incredibles 2. If you would have asked me a little bit earlier when I saw this originally, I would probably put it in best of the best. But I think that the villain reveal is very blatantly obvious. But I still love this movie a whole lot. Animation looks stunning, even better than the first Incredibles. This one's more Elastigirl's movie, and her side of the story is very interesting. And also, I thought that the superpower side of Jack, where Dash, Violet, and Mr. Incredible are all trying to basically take care of Jack while he's going crazy and stuff, is really funny. And Frozone's in here, which he's cool too. No pun intended. No pun intended. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get an Incredibles 3. Because the Incredibles deserve their trilogy. And yeah. I would actually much rather prefer they get a third movie than Ratatouille get a second one. But, anyways, I still would want a Ratatouille second one, please. Toy Story 4. I was very hesitant going into this movie after the perfect ending of Toy Story 3. But Toy Story 4, great. I still thought this was a huge surprise because I was not expecting to enjoy this movie whatsoever. But I actually did enjoy it quite a bit. This movie was probably the... Wait, is this the last Pixar movie that was... Yeah, I'd say this is probably the last Pixar movie that made me cry in theaters. It had a good send-off for Woody's character. Was it as amazing and perfect as Toy Story 3? No. But still, it was a great send-off for him. Not great, but it was a decent send-off for that character. You have a lot of new characters in here with, Bunny and Ducky. They were standouts. They were absolutely hilarious. Gabby is pretty good villain in here. You definitely sympathize with her, and you sympathize with her motives. Sporky, another great character in here. Well, is it Forky or Sporky? I forgot his name. No, Forky. Another great character in here. Woody, this is more Woody's movie, and Buzz kind of gets sidelined, which I wish Buzz was kind of part of the story a little bit more, but Bo Peep was in here as well, which Bo Peep they brought back and gave a little extra layer to her character. I also enjoyed the flashback sequences when they were looking back on how Bo Peep basically got taken away from Woody, Buzz, all of them. So that was definitely interesting. So yeah, I'll put it in great. Next up, we have Onward, which Onward, in my opinion, not so yet. Chill down there, buddy. Onward, I think, is an underrated Pixar movie. Do I put a Toxic Goodness or great? I'll put it... top of good. I'll put it at top of Toxic Goodness. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland's voice acting in here really good. The The ending part of the movie very sad, and definitely another great moment from Pixar that I don't think gets talked about a whole lot. Animation looks good. The fantasy land setting is very interesting, but the journey is like kind of a little bit goofy, but it's fine. So that's why I put it in toxic goodness. I need to blow my nose again. Holy crap! Just to make sure, we're still rolling, right? Yes, we're still rolling. Okay, just making sure. Okay. Okay. Anyways, alright, continuing, we have Soul. All I got is soul. All I got is soul. Soul. I'll put good. I think it's a solid Pixar movie. This came out December 2020 on Disney Plus. Had a interesting message and not interesting message. Interesting. Well, I mean, yes, technically an interesting message in there, but not interesting message. I don't remember anymore. Had an interesting story where the guy falls down a sewer and basically is on the brink of death, where he either decides to go to the afterlife or try to fight back to get to Earth somehow. That was definitely a very like adult storyline that they interpreted into this movie, and they did well for. However, I feel as if they kind of make it less serious when he eventually goes back to Earth, and I forgot what the character's name was, but the little ghost comes with him, and the little ghost ends up taking over his body, and he's in a cat's body. That kind of got a little bit weird, but it was good. It was good. My goodness, I need to blow my nose again. How? Why? I thought it was getting better. Sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, wow. That, I think, should have helped quite a bit. Quite a bit. Alright, next up we got Luca. Luca is decent. It's decent. The storyline, I think, is a little bit weird, where the kids basically just want a Vespa. I think that's what they call it. But the animation, of course, looks good again. I know I'm mentioning that all the time. Has a lot of memorable lines in here that you can quote, which are Silencio Bruno. That's the one that comes to mind. The friendship between Luca and I forgot Bruno. No, is it Bruno? I forgot what his name was. But the relationship between them two there, I think, is pretty solid. How they end up going to the surface world and are basically finding out what the surface world is actually like, and stuff is pretty good. The food looks incredibly good in here. The pasta looked good. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I just brought it up. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. Top of decent right now. Alright, next up we got Turning Red. Remember that Pixar movie that everyone loves, but I do not like? Sorry. Turning Red, I do not like at all. I think it is incredibly overrated. I did not like this movie one bit. If you like it, more power to you. But it's just, I didn't enjoy the movie because I thought its messaging was very weird. And also, if the movie, from personal preference, felt as if it was showing parents in a poor light. And the story itself is just weird. Where you have a girl that's going through puberty, and turns into a red panda somehow. And it's just, what? The whole entire boss fight with the mom later on in the movie, where she just twerks at her mother to basically defeat her is just like, what are you doing here? Trying to remember any other stuff in this movie. The whole entire plot where they're trying to go to this concert that's a BTS ripoff, is just, what? And they're just obsessed with boys and stuff, which is just, what, okay, yeah, there's probably some girls like this in the world, but I haven't met any girls like that. It's just, oh, ugh, I hate Turning Red. I would much rather watch Cars 2. I do not like the movie one bit, and if you like it, more power to you, but I don't like it. Lightyear. I actually am probably one of the bigger defenders of Lightyear. It's still a little bit disappointing, but I'll put it okay. Because it's very generic sci-fi movie, I must admit. But I think the animation looks phenomenal. I like Chris Evans as the new Buzz Lightyear. I think he suits him very well, and is a good replacement for Tim Allen. The only biggest negative in this movie, this part of the movie weighs it down significantly, is the whole entire Zurg twist later on in the movie. I won't spoil here, but it's just like, what? Why? Why would you go that direction with it? Anyways, and then the side characters aren't all that memorable. So, besides Socks. Socks is the MVP of this movie. Most memorable character. So, yeah, Lightyear, okay. It was okay. I don't understand why so many people hated it, though. Elemental. Elemental was a surprise. So, I'll put it in the good. I thought it was really good. And, it kind of reminded me of Pixar back in the old days a little bit. Not all the way, but it reminded me of it a little bit. Where you have this whole entire plot line where there's water person and then there's fire person, where both of their families or their elements, both of their elements are very against teaming with other elements, and basically they end up finding a relationship through that, which I thought that was very sweet. And this was basically Pixar's first rom-com, and they handled it very well. The animation, beautiful, again, probably, just very great animation. There's some parts of the story, I must admit, that do feel slightly familiar, but I still thought it was a good Pixar movie. Not anywhere near the best. It's at the right track, though. Alright, next up we got Inside Out 2. And Inside Out 2 is guaranteed to be in my top 10 of the year so far. And I'll put it right here. Inside Out 1, I think, is a lot better. But Inside Out 2 definitely helps follow up Inside Out 1 very well. Biggest negative I can say about it really is it follows the first one's story a little bit too similarly, but it's still, I think it was a smart move to go that way, so they improved on that. The animation, of course, beautiful. Again, I'm pointing that out every single time. This one, I think, further develops Riley even more and makes her an even better character. The new elements, I think, were all pretty decent, especially anxiety and embarrassment. I think those were the two standouts, and they definitely developed their characters the most, especially anxiety, where she's a villain and it explores why anxiety is the way the way it is. And it was a very interesting way to explore that. Maya Hawke does amazing voicing her as well. Probably the best voice acting performance there. Trying to think of any other things that happened throughout here. Because it's been a week, so I have to remember. The people are probably going to be mixed about this, but how they use sadness, she kind of gets sidelined, which I think because the way she was a big part of the first movie, I think that it's warranted that she is more sidelined now, and it focuses more on fear, disgust, anger, and joy, all four of them. And Joy, I think, is a better character in this one. I think she's way less annoying than the first movie. So, yeah. Inside Out 2 goes into the great tier. But with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this toxic tier list ranking. Be sure to let me know your tier list down below. And, with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.